at it again, and we have another one with Dinesh. Let's dive in.
Unfortunately, I missed your speech because I had to take a test compelled by the capitalist system. Because I had to take a test compelled by the capitalist system. I have heard some of your previous comments about Marx and Marxism. And as somebody who's read a little bit of Marx, I find them to be misinformed, or if not being politically correct here, pretty ignorant. Especially about the prediction that the capitalist class or system will destroy itself automatically, and your comments about state ownership being the goal. So, I was wondering two things. One, which of Marx's writings, which of the stuff that he wrote specifically, have you read and used that to base your analysis of Marxism off of? And second, could you define socialism in a way that is related to Marxism and not just completely, separated from it? That way you can, point to like Hitler and call him a socialist in a way that Marx would not agree with.
Well, first of all, if the capitalist system is forcing you to take a test, and you went along with it, you're obviously a very pathetic sellout of the capitalist system. You should have taken a stance of bold independence and said, I don't care about capitalism, I don't care about the test, I want real knowledge, I'm going to hear D'Souza. But you didn't do that, that's okay. Marx envisioned a socialism that would occur in two phases. The first would be the dictatorship of the proletariat, and then pure communism, in which the state itself would wither away. There'd be no state at all. That was Marxist doctrine.
Where do you get that from?
That the state will wither away?
Well, no, I mean that schema, dictatorship of the proletariat and all that. Which of Marx's writings are you specifically drawing upon?
Yeah, so what we have to do is we have to move from the early Marx, the Prolegomena to Hegel, the early writings of Marx through Das Kapital, through the Communist Manifesto. Now, there are some collaborations with Engels in which it's hard to disentangle one from the other. So there's an evolution in Marx. But I'm saying that early Marx was a little bit more liberal, which is to say more compatible with liberal democracy than later Marx. As Marx became radicalized over time, his doctrine of communism solidified. Socialism is to communism. Socialism is the economic wing of communism. Now, you're right, Marx didn't envision state takeovers of anything. But every actual socialist regime has done that. Every regime professing socialism has actually taken over industry and established government control over it, starting with Lenin. So I guess what I was doing is moving from Marxist theory to Marxist praxis, to action. And I don't know how to understand.
Yeah, and I mean, that's been something that we've talked about in previous videos. I even dropped a video specifically trying to understand exactly what all of this is and, instances of it being implemented, just to see, were there any success stories or are there any success stories? And across the board, there are no success stories. So the theory is different than the actual outcome. And I think people think that, oh, well, it wasn't implemented properly. Well, if people have said this certain thing and then gone to implement it multiple times, there's examples that you can look at, and every single time it was the same result, I go back to Einstein. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So we expect it to be different because we implement it properly, or because we're America? I don't think so. But like I said, as always, let's have an open discussion about this. If you guys think that I am wrong about that, let me know in the comment section and let me know why. That's part of what these videos are about, having an open and honest dialogue, about any and all disagreements without shouting and name calling and all the other crap that a lot of people like to do, unfortunately, because that gets us nowhere. But yeah, you have to consider how it's gone in practice and not just on a sheet of paper. You can write out all of the, great strategies on a sheet of paper all you want to, but they mean absolutely nothing if they aren't implemented. And once they are implemented, if everything goes haywire once you do try to implement them, every single time you do implement them, then something is off. Something is wrong. Maybe what you wrote down on that sheet of paper doesn't work in real life. But y'all let me know. Once again, talk to me in the comment section, please.
To Marxist praxis, the action. And I don't know how to understand ideologies without looking at their practitioners. Imagine if somebody were to say that I profess true Christianity, but there are no Christians in the world. Everybody who actually says that they're a Christian is not a real Christian. I envision a Christianity that is not practiced by any so-called Christian. You'd be like, well, how do I make sense of what you're saying? All these people profess to be Christians, and if we can't look at what they think and what they believe and what they do, what is Christianity apart from Christians? So similarly, what is Marxism apart?
What do you think is the future for America? Are we going to fall to the fire or come out of it like a phoenix and actually maintain our core values?
Marxism apart.
What do you think is the future?
That's a weird cut in the video.
For America, are we going to fall to the fire or come out of it like a phoenix and actually maintain our core values?
The pendulum could go either way. I think we'll come out okay. And I'm an optimist not just because that's my temperament, but because a lot of times young people, for example, swing to the left because of an idealism that is manipulated by their professors. The idealism itself is good, and conservatives sometimes make a tactical mistake by saying to young people, their own kids, things like, you know, you're kind of idealistic right now, but just wait till you're 45 and have to pay taxes, and you're going to lose all your ideals real fast, and then you're going to vote for the Republican Party. This, to me, is not the best marketing for the Republican Party. We are the party of idealism also, and we have to compete for the idealism of young people. So I think if we do that, we'll find more fertile soil. Same with minorities. Debbie's Hispanic, Latino, from Venezuela. I'm Asian American. I mean, if we speak to fellow immigrants and make the case, we strike a tremendously responsive chord. It's just that those people have never heard Republicans talk this way. I remember I was speaking to a group of South Asians. This was at Harvard a few years ago, and this young woman says to me, a very interesting question. She goes, I'm an Asian American, I'm an Indian American, I always feel suspended between two cultures. How will I know when I've become an American? And I said to her with a straight face, I said, well, I think you'll know when you've become an American, when you become a Republican.
You'll know when you become American once you become a Republican. That was a mic drop moment right there to end the video, if I do say so myself. You know, it's crazy how people keep bringing this discussion up and ignore the examples that we all can see and have. So I go back to my stance on sending college students to Cuba or Venezuela so they can get a taste of what exactly it is that they want. We can spend our tax dollars on it. I'd be more than happy to approve tax dollars to be spent to send college kids to Venezuela and Cuba and know they are not living in some fancy hotel on a fancy resort. No. They're living amongst the regular folks. They get to see the life, the great life that they supposedly want to go towards. It's fair. It's great. It hasn't been implemented correctly, apparently. I don't know, but everywhere it has been implemented, it hasn't worked. And I'm happy that he brought up that situation with, you know, Christianity when he was talking about this idea of Christianity and actually no Christians or people that say that they're Christians but really aren't Christians. So it's just like, wait, what? How do I like compare this? How do I look at this? Because wherever it's been implemented, it hasn't actually worked. According to Einstein, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So you expect to have a different result. So what you're saying is you're insane. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's wild to me that people still are pushing for this. But once again, I'm open to having my mind changed with evidence. If somebody can provide me with evidence and facts and statistics to back up an argument that I'm completely wrong, I'm open to it. I'm not one of these individuals who, plants their flag on a stance and nothing will ever change my mind about anything. Like, no. That's not me at all. But I'm going to need some evidence, not just speeches or anything like that. I'm going to need hard evidence. And also, if I can get some video footage, that would be great as well. Everybody has camera phones, so I need video footage of all this great stuff that it brings. Because from what I've seen, it's a reign of terror. It's a reign of terror. But y'all let me know what you thought about all of this in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, and of course, hit that subscribe button before you go. And if you would like to support the channel, my PayPal link is in the description. Not a requirement, but just wanted to let you know that it is in the description if you want to support the channel. And thank you to everyone that already has. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Peace and love. I'm out.